I don't know about you guys, but did you go down to the theater this weekend? I know I sure as hell didn't, because Black Panther Wakanda Forever, yes, the sequel to whatever the hell Black Panther was back in 2018 or something like that. It was a cultural thingy-majiggy, and I know all the Democrats like to do the whole fucking Wakanda shit, and it's all cringe as a motherfucker, and a bunch of different reviews that are out there just kind of point out the inconsistencies. So, now that this has been foisted upon society, what's it all about? Well, I've been listening to a couple of reviews of it, and this is obviously, like every other time that we talk pop culture, it's not going to be a review. I'm not watching this shit. You couldn't fucking pay me enough to watch all this type of shit. And I understand that media critique is definitely the big hotness that's running around right now on the interwebs, but here's the thing. I don't have time for this stuff. I don't find it necessarily all that interesting. I like the certain people that are out there, okay? I like guys who point out, yes, what is good writing, what isn't good writing, consistent and what is inconsistent. I like the objective reviewers that are out there, okay? Mahler, Rags, the whole EFAP crew. A couple of the other opinion guys I do appreciate as well, but we'd be here all day if I was to just name everybody that I like and appreciate that's out there. I am just more concerned about how much is this going to make, because, okay, the original Black Panther well overperformed expectations. It made $1.4 billion. Like, it made a fucking shit ton of money, okay? And that was back when Marvel was cooking, okay? They were going from hit to hit to hit to hit, okay? At least at the box office. Does anybody remember, like, Ant-Man the Wasp? Okay, does anybody remember actually any of the plot points from the original Black Panther? What was, okay, outside of Brie Larson being cringe as shit, okay, what was Captain Marvel all about? No, exactly. You probably remember the big Avengers films, okay, the big team-up films, but outside of that, it's basically been a fucking sludge pipe since, I would argue, in Iron Man 3, because a lot of those critiques that I'm hearing doesn't sound too dissimilar from why I decided to just hang up from media that's out there. So, because what I'm concerned about is where is all this shit ultimately leading, okay? Is it about time that people start checking back in with modern media? Well, it's going to be tough to tell off this one, right? Because Chadwick Boseman, yes, okay, did tragically pass away. He was, you know what, really stalwart in the disease that he was carrying. He bore that cross completely silently, and when he passed away, it was a great hit on the community. Not just the black community, like the way that fucking Marvel's trying to push it, but just for the acting community, the entertainment industry in total, okay? And the fact that he was so quiet about his struggles internally, I consider that a mark of a great man. But again, from the reviews that I'm hearing about this fucking tripe, okay, the fact that they're front-loading all of the sympathy points for Chadwick Boseman, trying to use his death as some sort of marketability in order to catapult this floundering, feckless pile of nonsense back to relevance, try to crack $1 billion, because there's been one film in Marvel Phase 4 that's actually cracked $1 billion, and oh yeah, that's the one that Disney had the least to do with. Very interesting. Okay, so they had started the film with the funeral of T'Challa, Chadwick Boseman's character, the actual Black Panther, and then they did some stuff at the end of the film, and it's like, please remember, and please have sympathy, and please come back and watch this film because that's what Chadwick wants, okay? And the fact that, you know, the MCU or the Disney shills are out there using his official accounts to promote this nonsense is fucking, well, to be quite frank, it's disgusting to say the least. So, did it work? I don't know. I think it's very interesting that CNN Business, of all things, is reporting on this. You're supposed to be a business outlet. Don't you have anything more important to be touting? But no. Hollywood box office for a fucking Marvel movie at this stage? Christ almighty. Anyways, Black Panther Wakanda Forever had a major challenge of following Black Panther. One of the biggest blockbusters ever. Yeah, fucking why, okay? But that was at the time when superhero movies could not fucking miss, okay? Remember, Aquaman, Jason Momoa, and Amber fucking Heard. Over $1 billion. It's like they were cranking out $1 billion film after $1 billion film for what fucking reason? Oh yeah, okay. So I put all of those films out there. What plot points do you remember of that? That's the DCEU we're talking about here. Outside of Jason Momoa taking off his shirt, what the fuck do you remember from Aquaman? Alright, Aquaman genociding a bunch of crab people. Cool, wonderful, fantastic. There's your superhero, guys. Ugh, dark, gritty DCEU. Suck a dick. Anyways, but yes, one of the biggest blockbusters ever in the original Black Panther. Yes, cultural significance. $700 million domestically, and then the rest of it worldwide. And it's like just fucking wow, okay? But it was the perfect cataclysm of events, okay? The original Black Panther was released in Black History Month during a point in time where there was still some writing credibility to be had within the MCU, okay? After his introduction in Captain America's Civil War, and everybody liked his character, then he got his own film sandwiched right up to the upcoming end of that, well, big overarching phase, the whole, what do they call it, the Infinity Saga, okay, right up to Infinity War, or, yeah, that's what the first one's called. It was gonna hit, but it still overperformed for what it actually was. Because what it actually was kind of looked like a PS2 game, but whatever. But yes, and they had to do so without Chadwick Boseman, who passed away in 2020. Despite all the challenges, Wakanda Forever notched a sizable box office opening this weekend, like the rest of those Marvel films did. Okay, Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange film. Even still, with the bifurcated release of Black Widow, I remember when we talked about that to begin with, it still made over $100 and some odd million at the box office, and then whatever Disney was reporting, something like $35-40 million at home buys, and then they scrapped that. Shang-Chi still did the exact same shit. Not too sure what happened with the Eternals, but the less we don't want to talk about that anymore. It's not like they're going to be, mentioned in the future. But Thor did the exact same thing, $100 and some odd million at the box office. But it looks like this one right here took the cake. The Marvel movie opened to an estimated $180 million in North America, according to the film's studio Disney. Yes, of course, the same Disney that's currently going through massive layoffs and a hiring freeze. Interesting, doing great, aren't they? The opening represents one of the best premieres for a movie and makes a superhero film the highest grossing debut ever for the month of November. Oh my god, it's setting records for the highest release in November. The fucking what? What else has been released in November? November's normally the off season, right? Okay. The original record belongs to Hunger Games: Catching Fire. Is that the last one? I didn't watch any of that fucking shit. That's Jennifer Lawrence's dumbass. Okay, wasn't there 4 of those films? Like, they were trying to also make a franchise out of that shit? Or were they also trying to follow that Harry Potter release schedule with the final film being in 2 parts? Was that what it was? Because I think that sounds like the second one. I can't quite remember, but whatever, regardless. That came out, what, a decade ago at this point? Yeah, November 2013. So 9 years ago, $158 million. And the record just got broke, okay, this year. It's almost like if Disney was trying during the height of the MCU. Now the fact everybody's just kind of like, yeah, no, it's really fun, okay, and yeah, this is the best Marvel movie until next Marvel movie comes out. But this one had all the sympathy points. This one had all the, if you don't go, you're a racism. It had all the built-in catchfalls. Looked like it succeeded. Congratulations, Disney's going to make back their money, and then all the shills can just clap because, yes, next Marvel movie will be best Marvel movie. But it's funny, it took anybody releasing, a popular film 10 fucking years to apparently break a record that was just sitting out there for the taking. All right, then. The box office haul comes in around where most in Hollywood were predicting. Okay, cool. The film has made $330 million globally so far. So 180 here, 150 around the world. But it's not being released in China because too many black people. That's China's thing, okay? It's no surprise why Wakanda Forever did so well this weekend. Yeah, like I've said before, okay, the film which stars Letitia Wright and Angela Bassett. Yes, strong, independent black women that are there, that are mourning the loss of an actual star, and that there's kind of a star power vacuum that is trying to be filled by quantity over quality. Again, I'm listening to reviews on this stuff. I'm not watching this fucking nonsense. Anyways, as the princess and queen of an African country, Wakanda. Oh, what? That fucking ethno-state where they just, erected a giant fucking dome where they keep the most valuable material on fucking Earth specifically for themselves, and they've had it for generations, and yeah, no, whatever. Yes, everybody loves Wakanda for their, quasi-genocidal practices. Great, wonderful, fantastic. It comes from Marvel Studios, the most lucrative brand in all of Hollywood. Yes, and the exact same mold and method that everybody wants to copy, right? It used to be the sequels. Now everybody wants a cinematic universe that's out there. And everybody's been trying to very interesting results. We can just say that. When Black Panther hit theaters in February of 2018, there you go, it opened to a stellar $202 million weekend. February of 2018. Okay, cool. What's changed? So it's been 4 years. Okay, and Black Panther only had a bit role in a big ensemble movie beforehand, but now the sequel, okay, with all of that additional praise lumped on top of it, has only managed to make 100. That's like a big drop off there. I thought it was supposed to exceed all. Oh, okay, cool. Now you're just shifting the goalpost. It went on to make $1.3 billion worldwide and garnered multiple Oscar nominations, including Best Picture. Oh, fuck off. Oh, the film is considered to be one of the best in the comic book genre, one of the best from Marvel. No, it's not, but that's nice. But hey, don't worry, this film's getting equal praise, and you could already tell from the thumbnail where we're going to be going on this. Okay, this is one of the dumbest fucking things and something that got brought to my attention. Okay, when I was listening to the EFAP review here yesterday on double speed, because those boys talk for a long time, and it was about a 6-hour review of this 2-hour, 41-minute fucking rectal exam that I feel bad that they had to go watch it, but you know what, hey man, they're getting enough kudos paid to them, so I guess a little bit of flowers on that one for the suffering that they had to do and the coverage that they provide. I think it's top tier shit, but I think it was Mahler who brought this one up. Marvel executive, brace yourselves, says Black Panther Wakanda Forever is like the Godfather. It's like the Godfather. See why I had to do this? I got that poster right up there. That's the one that you see. Okay, depending on which way I want to put my head whenever. Okay, I'm a fan of some of the Bond films. Okay, but I'm a big fan of the Godfather. I know it's kind of a hacky choice for what's your favorite movie that's out there. I like mob films. I would love to see them come back. Maybe after we get through this current phase of Hollywood, then we can see a return to mob films. But Al Pacino, even as cringe as he is in real life, but Robert De Niro back in the cut, okay. Scorsese films in general, great stuff, tremendous films. Like, Goodfellas came out the year that I was born, okay? I've seen that a half dozen times, and I can remember just about every single story beat in that one. If somebody had a gun to my head and my family hostage, okay? If they were to tell me, recite the plot of Iron Man 2, couldn't fucking do it. Okay, couldn't fucking do it. But could I do it for The Godfather? You goddamn bet I could. Could I do it for Donnie Brasco? Absolutely. Could I do it for Godfather 3? Regrettably, seen it a couple of times, and it's as bad as everybody tells you it is. Okay, it sunk the trilogy, and it's a duopoly for those who know, and then there's that third retarded kid that just tags along, and it's like, yeah, I guess you got my name attached to you, but whatever. But I don't know how you make this link, and I don't know how you are this fucking tone deaf, but this is a Marvel executive, so I guess they're just huffing their own farts, and a reason why all this shit is gonna suck for a longer fucking period of time than anybody's willing to stick around for. Honestly, like, you just take a look, okay? Black Panther 1. Black Panther 1 opened up to $202 million, not on the holiday weekend like this one did, and it opened to $180 million. It's a fucking big drop off right there, okay, for anybody who doesn't know. But I don't know, what do you want to spin it, pandemic? It's like, okay, Chadwick's not actually in it, but it's like, come on now, come on. When Black Panther debuted in 2018, it brought a different kind of Marvel movie to the world. But a black one? Like, what are you trying to do here? Okay. As well as becoming one of the highest rated projects in the MCU. Yeah, because if anybody critiqued it, they were immediately a racist. It's like, no, it's just not written very well. And most of the characters are just incredibly unlikable. And Black Panther gets cucked out in his own film. No. It's one of the best things ever. Okay, and one of the highest grossing movies of all time. That's indisputable. Numbers don't lie, people do. The film also managed to do the impossible by gaining a number of Oscar nominations in big categories. Again, see the reason why it was so highly rated. Okay, now Marvel is returning to Wakanda in Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. And according to one Marvel executive, the movie is similar to The Godfather in a number of ways. Fucking how, dude, okay? There's very little currently known about the exact plot of the sequel, and I've listened to reviews of it. A couple, actually. And I don't even know about the plot. I know Namor shows up, and he's got wings on his ankles, and somehow there's whales in Boston, and the female Iron Man shows up with a really hilarious costume with fucking cornrows in her Iron Man suit. It's like, what the fuck is actually going on? But it's like, okay, But there have been plenty images and hints in the trailer to suggest that the film will be another monster hit for Marvel Studios and could manage to end Phase 4. Yeah, this is the end of Phase 4. Like you'd actually know that, okay? Because on the original schedule for Phase 4, because Marvel needs phases for whatever reason, normally they're capstoned with Avengers films, right? But this one, well, it just kind of meandered through, and it decided to end with Black Panther after many revisions. And I understand everything got shelved thanks to the pandemic and everything closing down and whatever. But the first movie, like, okay, well, I might be able to keep this straight to begin with, but there's been a lot of shit pumped out in this fucking phase, okay? It all started with, WandaVision, and people were kind of captivated by that to begin with, okay? It's like, ooh, it's got this interesting, period piece, sitcom aesthetic to begin with, and then it just eventually devolves into, Wanda enslaving an entire town, and, actually, Sword are the bad guys because they're the ones with guns, and nobody will know what Wanda had suffered. God, it's so fucking AIDS. And then Falcon and the Winter Soldier came after that, another TV show where Falcon becomes Captain America, and you don't know what it's like to be a black man and carry the burden of the shield, and he's a black guy, therefore there's nothing that he doesn't know, and that white senators need to do better because that's a Marvel thing. Then the first movie was Black Widow, a movie about a dead character, so nice stakes you have there. And then there was a bunch more stupid TV shows. Like, it gets fucking retarded. I didn't watch this shit, I just listened to reviews in the background, but when you just continue to make content instead of actually having a meaning and a desire to put out something because you have something to say instead of just filling fucking time, bruh, nobody's going to continue to come to the theater to see next Marvel project, okay? Boring shills will, but after a while, all of that shit, all of that hype is just gonna trickle away when it's just new thing coming into the theater all the fucking time, okay? But, oh yeah, Phase 4, Wakanda Forever was supposed to be somewhere in the beginning, and then it was supposed to, the original plans, it was supposed to end with Fantastic Four being introduced, which would be really cool, but don't anticipate them until 2025. Yeah, no, I didn't stutter on that one. 2025. A new fucking president will be in the White House by that fucking time, but oh no, Marvel's got plans all the way out until then. Sure they do. Anyways, but yeah, no, it's going to be the biggest hit of the Phase 4. Wakanda Forever is great, and it's basically Godfather with black people. Oh my god, and I don't even have to wait for my reboot to the Godfather with black people. It's apparently already here. Oh my god. Picking up the story after the events of Avengers Endgame. Well, after the events of a lot of different things, but again, they don't reference that whole fucking blip thing where half of the population of the entire fucking universe got snapped out of existence, okay, for 5 years, and yeah, they just don't bother mentioning that at all whatsoever, and then also reconciling the fact that Namor came out of the ocean of an entire civilization of very advanced individuals. What the fuck were they doing during that time? How were they affected during the blip? No, we don't need to talk about that. So the fact that you're characterizing that as it happens after the events of Avengers Endgame, while it is timeline-wise true, it doesn't reference any of that stuff. Interesting. Okay, to the MCU, and we'll also have the emotional core of dealing with the death of T'Challa. Yeah, which is kind of funny because Black Panther, the character, was all well and good, okay, after he got revived from the blip, after Endgame and all that stuff. It's like, and then all of a sudden he just died from super cancer or something like that. Because, you know, having Black Panther going out in a warrior's death or something like that, or, you know, telling a story which probably would have been a little bit better about bringing in a new Black Panther, that might have been a little bit better, okay, focusing that film around that, or maybe just recasting T'Challa. Like, I know it sounds, you know, fucking heartless and whatever, but you could still do your nice all Chadwick Boseman opening and then your closing as well to just, you know, thank him for his service posthumously, but the show must go on. But no, you're supposed to go there and feel bad for him because he died 2 years ago, and now you're supposed to come and pay your respects to a heartless corporation that's continuing to just puppet his corpse in order to turn a profit. Nice. Good strategy. So again, how does this play into Godfather? I see it mentioned there, so let's continue. When it comes to the disagreement between Wakanda and the underwater kingdom, Talocan, right. Marvel executive Nate Moore says that the film story has a feel of The Godfather to it. Put a gun in my mouth or a curb in my face and just fucking press down. He told Total Film,
"That sounds a bit crazy, but I'm gonna say it. There's a bit of a mob movie to this. There's a bit of The Godfather, okay? That sounds like I'm being insane, but there's a feeling of families of war."
Feeling of okay.
Because this movie is very much about Wakanda finding an equal to itself and Namor's world of Talocan. But there's these two isolationist nations that are incredibly powerful. One which we didn't mention before, and another one that is kind of absent throughout human history, and we haven't really delved into that, but it's very interesting, right? Probably more powerful than any of the other nations.
Wow, what is this, like the fifth or sixth super powerful nation or super powerful entities that could have been interjected and could have really helped out because they were already established because you gave them a backstory during the time of Thanos? No, you don't want to mention that, huh? Okay, just like the Eternals, right? They were there. Oh, we can't interfere. And it's like, okay, sure you can't, but whatever. I'm gonna drop that voice. I got a lot of recording to do, and it's very difficult. It's hard on my vocal cords. Anyways, to isolation is probably more, whatever. They're always gonna be more powerful because stakes, fuck them, they're out the window. Figuring out how they can both coexist. The film is very much about Wakanda opening up its borders to some degree. Was that the first story as well? How the fact that isolationism isn't really working out for them. But anyways, okay, still. And impacting Namor's world in a way that's unexpected. How is this like The Godfather? Namor kind of comes to Wakanda with a proposal that's not unlike, to the five families coming up with a proposal. Oh, okay, cool. What was that again? What was the part where Michael comes in, or Michael, whatever it would be in this, Michael, let's just say with that one, okay? He was gonna leave the gun and take the cannoli and find it behind the toilet bowl in the bathroom in the Italian restaurant before he comes out and shoots McCluskey in the neck and leaves Sollozzo slumped over on the table. No? Oh, okay, cool. I must have missed that part, or maybe they weren't explicit in their review when it came to that one. Okay, definitely the exact same things. You remember the Five Families meeting scene where Don Corleone said that I always knew that it was Barzini? Oh my god, that was really nice. I like the part where they, through CGI, had T'Challa running through a garden and he had little oranges in his mouth, and he noticed that his little son was playing out there in the field, and he goes, "Stop, you're spelling it." I like that part a lot. Fucking stupid. And Wakanda is having to figure out how to negotiate with the world power that isn't afraid of it, frankly. Oh, fuck off. That's why it's like The Godfather. What a fucking asshole. Man, this thing's gonna take a monster shit in the second week, because again, outside of, I think maybe the Eternals is like a couple minutes longer, but outside of the big, like Infinity War and Endgame, it is the longest Marvel film, okay? You took a look at the drop-offs, right? What was it? Multiverse of Madness, right? And that was the one that's like, oh my god, for the first time ever, Marvel films have a real aesthetic style, because I like Sam Raimi films, and he has different trademarks that he likes to use. It's like, okay, cool, very nice. Okay, that one's still 69%. Nice. Drop off to the second week. And then you had Thor, Love and No Chuckles Whatsoever. Okay, 68 or 67% drop off as well. This one right here, probably something the same, okay? Because all of the people that were worried about being called racist at the water cooler, they'll go check it out this weekend, fall asleep during some of it, and then wake up. It's like, oh wow, the tower was underwater, and this is really cool and shit. And I liked the part where the Mexican man walked out of the water. He crossed the Rio Grande in order to come into Wakanda. Anyways, no, he came over and he rolled his R's a bunch, and he gave his traditional the Aztec. He's supposed to be fucking Atlantean, but yeah, get this. Oh my god, you should really give Marvel credit because he has comic accurate wings on his ankles. Cool, he's supposed to be Atlantean, not Aztec. Close though, right? These people are just like, okay, that guy's black, that one's brown, okay, but as it comes to specifics, yeah, we don't really need to get into that stuff. Yeah, I'll just wait. Next week, I'll probably, at least throw it in or something like that. Unless, of course, it's like one of those situations where there's like a historic hold, but this motherfucker's going to bomb somewhere between, I'm going to say like 65% is probably not off the table when it comes to retention, because again, there's a lot of stuff that goes on and it introduces a lot of fucking characters. but I think I heard somebody make this reference too. It's kind of like Iron Man 2, just done really shittily. That sucks, because Iron Man 2 was a big setup for like the Avengers film where it had to introduce a lot of characters. And that's what this one's doing, except for it's a bunch of characters that comic fans don't give a fuck about, and that the rest of the people are like, wow, that's kind of like discount Iron Man. I just want Iron Man back. Just call me when Iron Man comes back. And yeah, that's Marvel films for you now going forward. Okay, just wait and just jangle the keys. I don't even know what the end credit scene. I don't even know if they introduced Doctor Doom. Don't know, don't care. They're just going to continue to fuck it all up, and I'll just be over here laughing because I ain't watching this shit. And I like to see the House of Mouse burn money. Go back to making nice fucking, good looking cartoons, you dumb cunts. It's not that fucking difficult. But with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.